welcome to the Freaky Nanner Show.
Freaky nanny, freaky nanny show.
I'm still having problems with this for some reason, though. Seems to be laggy, but then when I put it on, it seems fine. So I'm not sure why.
Ooh, pump that jam. Eat that chicken. Eat that ham. Ooh, pump that jam. Pump that jam. Ooh, pump that jam. Pump that jam. Ooh, pump that jam.
If you remember from the last time, the thing just blacked out on us.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that doesn't happen this time.
It's the ghost of Keebler Dave. He's making that happen.
Could be the ghost of Forest Coffee, for all we know, too.
Yeah.
A lot of times on this shit. If you gotta update anything, Apple will ruin everything.
Oh, clingy curdle juice.
Let's see. That's that. What do I need, eh?
Martha Stewart is a really good lady. Martha Stewart is a really good lady. She makes a really good turkey, and she makes sure that she douses it with lots of man gravy.
Oh, yeah. Man gravy tastes so good.
There's a gravy and it's made by a man. It's called man gravy.
Oh, yeah, I bet that is what it is, too. It's there's an update.
Oh, Skrulnik.
I don't want to update. Nobody want to update me.
You take a little bit of soy milk and you pour some chia seeds in the soy milk, and then you have a very good drink. It's called Milky Seed Drink. It's called Milky Seed Drink. Everyone loves to drink my Milky Seed. You take soy milk and mix it with chia seeds. And what do you get? You get chia, soy milk, Milky Seed Drink.
Dribbling down your neck.
You'll drink it so fast, it'll go down your chin and down your neck and in between your man boobs, or your real boobs if you're a girl. Yeah. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey likes to give expensive gifts and make the people pay taxes on it. Oprah Winfrey likes to give expensive gifts that make the people pay the taxes on it. Oprah. She probably would like to drink my Milky Seed. Milky Seed. Milky Seed. It's fortified with protein. Milky Seed. Milky Seed. It's fortified with protein.
Quit. Maybe if I just quit some of this crap down here.
There's a lot of crap down in the bottom bar. You know, the bar on the bottom screen. There's a lot of stuff open down there, and the Nanner's just trying to close all that shit, 'cause he thinks that if he does, it'll make the camera work better, and it is. Yeah.
See, I just needed to fix some shit.
Oh,
yeah.
La 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 la.
See, sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah.
Bitches be tripping.
Oh,
what's that?
This is an arm bone, right? It comes from right here. This part goes in your shoulder, and this is your elbow, also known as the Funny bone. Yeah.
I need one of those.
I got this on an online auction, and it's a real bone. Pretty soon, I'm gonna have a whole skull, and I'm gonna eat cereal out of it. It's gonna be great. But this is my scepter, and I use it for knocking on doors. Hey, let me in! And I bop people on the head with it, and whatever else I want. It's great.
Yeah.
I
might just steal it, rip my arm off, and replace it right here, because I need one.
Yeah.
Look, it's almost perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right there. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I need that.
Mm-hmm. Ha. Hee hee hoo. Mimmy mimmy mim. Moo moo moo.
I need it. And everybody's wondering one thing. They're like, oh, you guys are on the show, and it's been 5 or 10 minutes, and you haven't even talked about your sponsors yet.
Mm-hmm.
Today we got a multitude of sponsors. This one's the early sponsor. It's going to be the classic benchmark cheapie.
Mm-hmm.
Needs to go for about $10 at the store. Then we've got Mr. Pikesville 110 proof straight rye whiskey.
Right.
Nice. That, on the other hand, is about $60. And then we got the featured act. Everybody's favorite. The famous Eagle Rare.
Oh, gooey gumdrops.
This is 94 point... Yeah, no, it's 90 proof. 90 proof.
Mm-hmm.
Single barrel, specially ordered.
It's 2% proof less than Jerry, but I still think it'll be good.
And they got a whole barrel of this in, and they sold out in 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
An entire barrel of this.
I'm going to jiggle my goiter.
Ooh.
Just grab that goiter and jiggle it good.
Many people's favorite. And it's not that it's really pricey, but people do mark it up. So it could go for as much as $90 a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
I did not pay $90.
Makes a good spermicide. It's expensive, but, you know.
But I don't think we're going to partake in this one today. But it's still a sponsor, Buffalo Trace. If you see this, I'm going to have to hashtag Buffalo Trace. Just let me know and send me more of these.
Bing, 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 bing.
Send me more. They're delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But we will partake in a little of this Pikesville.
Ooh, speebish.
As you can see, I've gotten started on all these, but starting to work my way up. So instead of just drinking all my whiskey, I've had this for a couple weeks now, and I'm drinking about half of it, which is pretty good. And it was only because I ran out of everything else that I even drank much of that. Ooh.
Smell the cork.
Yeah. Cork action.
That's the stuff right there. That's the Ticchiano. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see here.
No, I got shit. For some reason, the skin's coming off of my mouth. Get close, you can see it.
Yeah, well, in some cultures, men envy that on other men. You know?
Yeah.
Woo! That's good.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, this is the new trick. New friend of mine told me this trick just to buy expensive whiskey, then buy a little of the cheapie, get a little tasty poo of the goody stuff, and then you drink a little of this, and you don't have to buy so many $60 bottles, and they last for a long time. Then you can kind of start building up a little collection. Then when people come over, you let people tasty, and then you can have a good time.
Partake in some spirits.
Mm-hmm. Spiritual spiacci's.
Mm-hmm.
The spiracci's.
Spiracci.
We got I heard an update, but we didn't know about it. But I think I talked about it maybe on the last episode. But the old Stephen Penley did catch another case while in prison, so he got another 1 to 5 years added to his parole.
But it's our fault because we didn't send him any commissary.
Yeah, he didn't have that big screen TV he really needed.
Mm-hmm.
I just let those eggs stay on simmer too long.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't do it right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Right now.
He's in there right now. He's probably in there right now, like pumping some iron, going, "Oh boy, it got me in here too long because I need my Chico sticks."
But here he's in there with his cousin, Kenneth, not far down the road here in Ionia.
My back itches.
About a half hour from here.
Oh.
In Ionia.
I own you.
I own you. They own him right now.
Jackson State Prisiono.
Yeah, Jackson is the bad one in Detroit. He's been there. Every time he goes there, I think he gets stabbed by somebody. That's the Penley way.
I'm just going to stick you a little bit, just enough so they send you away.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boy. You just stick me just a little bit so they get me out of here, all right?
You find out, you look into prisons for real, like you go there one day undercover, and you find out that all the shit's bullshit, that they're all really nice to each other, and they hang out and hook each other up with everything, and it's so fun, they're all just relaxing, but anytime they're on camera or out in front of the guards, they gotta all act tough.
Yeah.
And they tell each other, "I'm gonna stab you today, I'm sorry, brother. But I'm gonna try not to hit no organs."
Yeah.
Cool, man, cool, got you.
I got you. Yeah.
And there ain't even no race wars at all. No gangs or anything. And they get out. They like cry to each other on the phone. "Oh, I want to go back, man.
We had so much fun.
I just want to get back there.
I just wanna be right there. I wanna be right. I wanna be inside. Out there, there's so much room where babies burp and flowers bloom. Everyone dreams, I can dream too. Up there, up where the sky is ocean blue. Yeah, well.
Yeah. That's what I was listening to the fuck is the worst word that you can say? Just use the word okay.
Use the word okay, okay.
It's all up to you, okay.
Use the word okay, okay. Okay.
Instead, it should say poo, like kiss my... I forget.
I bought a gun the other day, a handgun. It was my very, very first handgun. And you know what I learned when I bought the handgun?
That it makes you want to use it.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that. But
feels good.
Yeah, that too. But before you even get the handgun, before you even have it in your possession, the first thing I learned was that the places where you get the guns, there's an army of men jerking each other off.
Oh yeah, that's
jerking each other off everywhere, and you have to fucking fight your way through the fucking army of guys. Like, oh yeah, you got this kind of truck. I got this
CP-281.
I got
the 911.
Oh yeah, they just love to fucking jerk each other off in fucking sports stores. I never realized.
The gun ranges are too. You go to the gun range, and there's always a guy. There's at least one guy in there that's got a whole backpack or two just full of guns. And you ask a question to the guy at the counter, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I got that one there. Yep. This is how you use it. I
got an SKS." And I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't fucking care.
Just give me the fucking gun.
Wow, your dick must be huge. Wow. Yeah. So, long story short, when I went to go pick up my fucking gun from Cabela's, I stood there in a fucking sea of guys ass raping each other. And I'm just like, who's in charge here? Looking around like, and this guy making eye contact with me from the counter, and he's looking at me like, I know you need help, but look at all these gay guys over here butt fucking each other. And I'm like, I know. And he's like trying to get them to go, and I'm trying to get them to go, but they won't. So I had to leave. Yeah.
Shooting.
Then the next day.
Then
the next day, they were way slower, and I had to go through a little bitty pond of fucking guys jerking each other off, but it wasn't that bad, and I got my gun.
Mm.
And you know what? Honestly, if I'm going to kill somebody, I'd much rather just choke the fucking life out of them or shove my thumbs in their eye sockets.
Like a gun's for self-defense.
Yeah, like if I'm sleeping and just for some reason I hear a noise downstairs and I want to hurry up and get back to bed because I got to work in the morning, I might grab my gun and go down there and shoot them.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but if it's on a Friday night and I hear a noise downstairs, you're fucked because I don't got to wake up the next day early and I'm going to go down there and I'm going to fucking put you in my basement and nobody's ever going to hear about you again. You're just going to disappear.
Well, it's been my dream.
Yeah, it's been my dream too. But yeah, I mean,
coming to my house.
Mm-hmm. The guns are fun and all. They're okay, but they don't make me feel safe. They don't make me feel any different than I don't understand it when some of these guys are like, I won't be coming to my house. I've got this gun and I got that gun and blah 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 blah. I'm like, I've got a board with a stick, or I got a board with a nail on it, or I got this right here. I'll fucking hit you in the head with this fucking
it's like
thing.
The story recent. I don't know if I told you or not, but Cain Velasquez, former UFC heavyweight champion, his 4-year-old daughter was at daycare and apparently had gotten sexually abused over 100 times by this guy. And California, being the great state it is, lets the guy out without bail before his sentencing. No bail. So he goes out. Cain Velasquez figures this out. And he goes and finds the car, follows them, and he happens to have his dad, the one driving the car. He tries to run him off the road, and then they stop, and he gets out and tries to shoot the guy with a gun, and ended up shooting the guy's dad instead. Didn't kill him. But
no. the pedo shot them.
No, the dad, Cain Velasquez, he got out and shot the dad
of the pedo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
And so he's facing all these big charges, but he's got a big time lawyer named Mark Garagos, who's a famous lawyer who's got podcasts online and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Big time famous lawyer, and hopefully he'll get off. Like, if they go to a jury trial, there's no way that a jury could convict Cain Velasquez, who's beloved. He's a Olympic.
At the very,
he did the Olympics, but he was UFC champion.
I mean, at the very least, in my opinion, if you have zero history of any kind of violence and that fucking happens,
well, I mean, it was a UFC fight.
Well, I mean, like illegal violence.
Yeah.
I feel like at the very least his defense could be temporary insanity, because if that ever happened to my kid, I would lose my mind. And
temporary insanity could be a year.
Yeah, I would lose my mind. I wouldn't be able to control myself. I would fucking do the same thing. And
if you wouldn't do the same thing, there's something going on in your head that needs to be taken care of first. Like, she got molested. She's not the only one. He did it to other people too. How do you get no bail in any state?
He needs
when you molested kids.
He needs to die, though.
Should have been $100 million bail.
They need to just have a big old pedo island. Mm-hmm. And they just need to put all the pedos on the island and let them all have sex with each other.
The point I was getting to, anyways, is why the ex-heavyweight champion of the world, I know he's had a lot of injuries, and that's why he can't fight anymore, but why he didn't just get him over and then pull the motherfucker out of the car and beat the living shit out of him. Mm-hmm. That guy could beat you for hours and not get tired.
Mm-hmm. It feels so good.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then that would also have helped his case, just for beating him, because that's more insane than shooting somebody, because that seems more premeditated when you go get a gun.
Yeah.
Go out and try to shoot him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just shove my little thumbs in there and just shove them in the fucking eye sockets until you just hear that pop. Oh.
Yeah, I would get like just some sharp shit that's not like meant to stab people with, and just ram it in every pressure point that you can find, so that it's the most painful pain he's ever felt and shocks his body systems. You can get him right up here, without getting to the brain. Just get it right up here. Just ka-chang! Pen or pencil or some shit, and get right up here under this little spot. Get it under and by your liver and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And get the nerve right in your neck here.
I always like the whole take a rat and put a pot over it on your stomach and take a torch
and burn
get
it
all
so
hot.
It's trying to eat it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Then
there's so many ways you could torture people and it'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like now, the big news going on right now, so you can kind of figure out when we're actually making this, is that Russia has invaded Ukraine. And not a whole lot's going on with that, but a few thousand people are dead, I think. And not enough. Plus, it's way over there.
Yeah. I don't think that any of them will come here where we could hurt them. Unfortunately.
No, they aren't going to do that. The only one that would do something like that is probably China.
Oh,
China. Sad thing is, I love Chinese women.
Dude, do you remember Chingy?
Yeah.
The man from Chinatown?
Yeah.
I loved him. He'd always give advice.
Mm.
He talked like this. Oh, hello. My name is Chingy from Chinatown.
Chingy gave good advice, too.
Mm-hmm. You guys might get to see Chingy someday.
Yeah. Oh, Chingy.
Oh,
Chingy made a couple videos.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they were lost.
Oh, Chingy.
He was a good man. Well, he is a good man. I don't know where he's at. I'm sure I'll get in contact with him.
We lost some of our close friends over the last couple of years.
We just lost contact with him, at least.
So, yeah, but anyways, Russia don't know what to do, so Russia's stuck. They can't just leave.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to do something. And so something's going to happen. Who knows what it is? Well, they got the Ukrainian people are just like the Russians, so they're not going to go, oh, come on. Come on in.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny that they're the leader of Ukraine, the president or prime minister, whatever he is a former comedian.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What's his name? Yakov Smirnov?
It's something like that. Slavidov or Yaki, Shugi, Klavidov, I don't know, something. They all got crazy ass names.
Oh.
I don't remember names, so I couldn't tell you.
If I was rich, I would go to Ukraine, and I probably wouldn't fight. I would just pay people to get me some Russians. And I'd be like, I'll give you 10 grand, you bring me a Russian, and I just torture him. And they'd be like, yes, torture him. And I just spend a week in Ukraine torturing, and then I'd just leave. And then I'd be happy. I'd come back here and I'd be happy.
And Facebook came out and said that you can, for a short period, threaten violence to any Russians that are invading the Ukraine government. Which is a step away from what they do. You can't do anything on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Just like YouTube. People can't even leave comments anymore. I have to get bigger, but that's because you guys aren't leaving comments. I should have plugged that at the beginning. Like, share, comment, all that, subscribe. Mm-hmm. Comment the shit out of this.
It'll make our nipples hard.
Mm-hmm.
I won't even have to be a computer or anything. I'll just sense it. All of a sudden my nipples will get hard and I'll be like, oh, somebody just liked and subscribed.
It don't even take anything. Just one, and then you hit the comment and you can just go yes.
Mm-hmm.
Doop, done. It's like 3 seconds.
My nipples would be permanently hard.
Or just write like, I like ye. That would be a good one. Like I said, mind4ucd@gmail.com is where you go. Send the bad comments so that I can somehow figure out a way. Plus we had that contest that nobody ever I had a couple of comments, but that ain't enough to do a contest. You got to get this built up. I'm moving. I'm looking for somewhere to put this video because this video is big, so there's a lot of sites that don't let us upload this shit. And I want to do the audio, but it's not going to be as good with just the audio.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking at people's dumb faces like ours.
Mm-hmm.
That you can't see us drink. Can't see anything. What's the fun in that?
I know Gary Busey's really close to death right now, and that would really make his day to see us get bigger.
Yeah. And I heard John Stamos refuses to watch the show without the video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy because, I mean, John Stamos has been
the biggest supporter we've ever had.
Yeah, he's been like famously supportive of us, and it's just ridiculous.
I mean, I left the comment right on Instagram that, John Stamos told me that after Bob Saget's death, this show is the only thing that's gotten him through, and he's kind of pissed off at us that we've been so busy and not uploading enough videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my own video. We're going to do side projects too when we can.
Mm-hmm.
Just a hellstorm like today. I didn't even get an hour at home. I go home, take a shower. The freak comes over, and I get a phone call. And out of hundreds of kids at the school, one kid I have here right now somehow gets a spoiled milk, and it makes him sick, and he throws up, supposedly.
How do you even not know after the first very fucking sip you get in your mouth?
Well, he said he chugged it.
Whatever. I'm so thirsty, I gotta have this milk. I can't even taste it.
Oh. And then as soon as I bring him home, he seems fine. First thing he does is open the refrigerator. Like, that's sick. You're so sick. Oh, I can't eat. So I got locks on the refrigerator, so I just locked it. Because it needs to be locked. People say that's cruel punishment, but when you got a kid that will take an entire peanut butter jar and eat it himself, you can't have food just laying around for him.
Mm-mm.
And his mother is a freak about pop, and he just goes in and steals pops, and then when you get him to clean his room, you find like 30 cans and bottles under his bed.
Not okay.
Yes, buddy, we're just losing monies. Thank you, Pikesville. Yeah, this is Monumental Distillers. 6-year aged, by the way. That's where you get the darkness, especially the rye. Ryes are lighter.
They are.
As you can see, if you compare the benchmark,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that this is a 2-year, this is a 6-year. And the color, it just comes from the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just from the barrel. Because when they distill it originally, it's clear.
Mm-hmm.
Clear.
Nothing makes me sadder than the age that lost his bladder on the airplane.
Yeah, every time you get whiskey, that's the difference between some things. It's why they use the new oak barrels for everything legally for actual bourbon, or I don't know if the regulations, I never really looked into the rye whiskeys, if they have the same types of regulations, but maybe. But they get the wood from wherever, so all the wood that makes the barrels new, they get charred, and that makes them black, and they get, steamed out and cleaned and all that stuff, and then they use them. So the wood could come from anywhere, wherever they get the wood, all over the country. So every time you get a bottle of whiskey, whatever wood that's in there, the flavors that came from the earth of that area, over the many years the tree grew, for hundreds of years possibly,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting all those flavors inflected into your whiskey.
Especially if there's a bunch of people that peed on that tree, and dogs and bears, and
Oh yeah,
you get all those flavors.
yeah. Vitamins.
And all the stuff that those people ate, like asparagus,
Yeah,
that stuff from their pee
yeah.
absorbs in the tree.
Dead bugs.
And then if there was like a war by the tree,
Yeah.
and people's
And
blood
died.
soaked into the tree,
Oh yeah. You
and
get all
gunpowder
that.
smoke, yeah, all of it.
But it's good because you can drink it because it's distilled.
Distilled.
Double distilled, at least. That's the difference, I think, between Scotch and whiskey. Is that whiskey's distilled twice. Scotch from Scotland, obviously, is distilled 3 times.
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's also different materials that make it, but still. But that's one of the distinctions. So if it's not distilled 3 times, it's not a real Scotch, I believe. A lot of info coming at you.
A lot of information.
I'm trying to learn everything about whiskeys because I enjoy them and I drink them nearly every day, even if it's just a little bit. This was my yesterday. I didn't drink a whole lot. It's weak, but just a little bit.
That's why I try to learn as much as I can about people.
I know a lot about people.
The more you know, the more you know which ones to eat. I have not in my days partaken, but maybe someday in the future, especially with the way the world's going right now, I might be able to partake.
They had the video of that lady. I don't know if I talked about it on the show last time or not. It's hard to remember that stuff, but that had eaten human flesh and said that the meat itself is good, but the skin doesn't taste very good of a human.
I don't think I would try to eat the skin anyway.
Yeah.
If you're trying to eat the skin, like, what do you eat the skin of? I mean, chicken, sometimes, some people like chicken skin.
Crisp it up, though.
You don't eat cow skin.
You eat pig skin.
Yeah, I guess.
Pig ears and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, snake skin. Snake skin supposedly is good, too.
Huh.
Crisp that up just like a pork skin. And it looks cooler. Salt and pepper. I've never had snake, though.
Me either.
Like, the only problem I have with the snake is how thick the shit is. So it feels like it would be really hard to eat. You'd probably have to cook it real slow. And
I feel like it would be like almost like eating a fish because like there's so many bones. Like you'd be like flaking the meat off between the bones, and I feel like that's how it would be, but I don't know. I never ate a snake before either.
I don't know. I don't think snakes have that many bones, actually. Like I know there's snakes that have like vestigial bones where they got like hips inside their body, hip bones, that they don't use anymore.
I watched a thing on YouTube before I came here about this giant dragonfly that existed like 6 million years ago. Maybe it was longer than that. I don't remember. It was a long time ago, though. It was big. It was like, it had a wingspan of like 2 feet. And then they're talking about all these other giant bugs. And they said that the reason why giant bugs don't exist anymore is because of the oxygen levels. Because we don't have as much oxygen in the air anymore. But I was thinking, what if we created like a biodome and we put the right amount of oxygen in that biodome and we started to breed insects in that biodome for generations of their, generations and generations of their kids, and would they start to grow and we could have an army of like giant insects?
See, it's hard to say because that also would feed into the captivity level. Like if the area is small, I still think they won't grow as much. It's like when you get a fish and you put it in a tank, fish never outgrows the tank.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you switch it to a new tank, let it grow.
What if we made a giant biodome, though? Like,
yeah, you need a
big
enough. Fucker.
Yeah.
Like, let's just blow Russia up, and then that could be the biodome.
Yeah. And it's already nuclear.
Yeah. And everybody be happy about it because, 1, we end the war, and then 2, we're helping the environment.
Yeah.
And PETA would be happy because we're saving the animals.
Yeah. Plus, just think of how much protein each bug packs.
Oh, yeah. When you eat, so if you start eating bugs, you get like actual bug meat to be like a burger.
Bugs have a lot of protein in them.
Yeah. A lot of countries eat them regularly.
Yeah, dude. We could have all kinds of bugs, and we could tame them, and we could have like giant spiders we could ride. Oh, that'd be cool. You know how like they use like spider silk to make like certain outfits, but it's like armor. It's like the super armor. Oh, yeah. You could farm that silk from the big spiders and make all kinds of armor.
It'd
like
be undefeatable.
You'd be
Maybe that's how we get to space.
Yeah.
And defeat the aliens is we harvest giant spider webs.
Yeah.
We could even build ships out of it.
And it'd be like wearing mithril, like Frodo did in Lord of the Rings, when he had that armor on underneath, and it was like as thin as paper, but it was strong. Yeah. And he was like, "You Frodo's never, you hobbits never cease to amaze me."
That's because we have tiny fingies. We can make tiny strands.
Oh, and then the other day I was reading about how, like almost every mammal, I think every mammal except for humans, have bones inside their peters. And I was looking it up, and I'm like, why don't humans have bones in their peters? And I found out why. Because we don't have like constant, we're not constantly like fighting each other to have sex with a female, like in the wild, like
locks. It's something that
locks you in. Yeah, it makes them more like able to lock in, so like they can't get away as easy. Yeah. And we're more monogamous now, and we don't, we're civilized over the years, so we don't like. You're not like banging a chick and then all of a sudden another guy like, it attacks you and stuff like that. That don't happen anymore.
That does happen sometimes.
Well, yeah, but also another reason they said is because humans don't last long enough in bed to need one. They said.
Well, some dog, like they were talking about. Well, that's an amphibian, but frogs don't have dicks. Frogs kind of just run up and shoot their sperm on a woman's vag. And it's just instant. They just.
Oh, woman!
Yeah, they're the ultimate dork.
I'm a frog. Look at my comic book collection.
Ribbit, I'm being a frog. Oh, a female. Oh, they're like, ah!
Bucky Larson.
Boom, bop, dop, dop, doo, wop, beat a bop, dop, boo, dop, 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 doo. Yeah.
Bark, bark, bark. Bark, bark, bark.
Oh, I saw there's this stupid thing, a show on YouTube called Soft White Underbelly, and they had a family in West Virginia. Almost none of them could speak. One of them could speak, but the other ones were like the actual family. She was like a cousin or something, but she could understand him. And one of the guys is real skinny, and he has to hold his pants up because he don't have a belt or anything. And he walks around, he can't speak, but he barks like a dog.
Oh, they're all inbred.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that documentary, and one guy he got. But yeah, they were all inbred. They were a whole inbred family. That's why they were all fucked up like that.
But they asked them about it, and they're like, "No, they're not inbred." They took him to Walmart, and like family was at the Walmart they kept running into, and those people, even though they were smarter, you could tell that they were all fucked up too. They're like, "How's it been, man?" Like, Jesus, people.
Mm-hmm. That's scary sometimes,
but it happens. See what happens when you mate randomly. Your genes combine, and everybody's got a different set of genes. So when you randomly mate, you get different genes, and dominant genes will come out, but every once in a while these recessive genes will come out. And that's why people get weird things like blue eyes, red hair, blonde hair, shit like that. It's a recessive gene, because obviously the darker hair is going to beat that out. Mm-hmm. And so, randomly you get that. But if all the genes are the same, and you both have the same, you got a bigger chance of all these recessive genes coming together and being dominant. So over time, you have all these shitty recessive genes, and when they come together, they're weaker, and they're not as strong, and they're not meant to survive. So You'll get things that you wouldn't think normally, like someone that has fucking, I don't know,
3 fingers.
some eye disease or some shit, and they come out and they got one eye. And just weird things happen when you you don't have any chance of your genes blending in a good way.
That's why if you're gonna bang your cousin, you use a rubber.
It's like breeding dogs too much. You go from a wolf down to a little tiny fucking dog that shakes all the time and dies and gets cancer when it's like 8 years old, as opposed to a dog that's medium-sized and built for speed and power and can be outside in the fucking wintertime and lives for 15, 16 years.
Yeah, mutts are better and more advanced than thoroughbreds because mutts are not inbred. Any thoroughbred you get is going to be inbred. And they're going to have all this fucked up shit.
They're not all inbred, but if someone who's been breeding the same types of dogs for decades, then you'll get inbreds, and then you'll have them, and they'll seem like they're really good dogs because they have special skills that have been weeded out. But then you'll have them for like 6 years, and then they'll get cancer and die or get a hip problem or some shit.
If you see what a pug looked like 100 years ago compared to what a pug looks like now, it's completely different.
Like pugs used to be way bigger
because their genes are getting more and more fucked up.
So now they got crooked mouths and shit and one eye.
Eventually, they're just going to be like
tongues hang out and shit.
They're going to be like, kill me, kill me,
just like on Alien Resurrection.
Yeah, kill me, kill me. They're like, oh Mom, can we get this pug, please? It can talk. Listen, kill me.
They fart all the time.
Yeah.
Just like, kill me.
Look, isn't it cute? He says, it sounds like he's saying kill me, but it's just, he doesn't know what he's saying. He doesn't know. Have you seen that video where the dog says mama? It's the same thing.
Like the dog doesn't know anything at all.
For some reason, he won't eat. Like he's trying to starve himself to death. So we have to use this cute little feeding tube to feed him every day.
He's got no teeth.
Oh,
excuse-moi.
I can't do the
I did. I think I know. Something about. I had a subject. I'm starting to forget now.
Oh no!
But I wanted to. Ooh, is that a bone guitar? But at least we're not allowed to say the C word. But I think it's over. We also didn't celebrate. We didn't celebrate back in the day when Bill Cosby got out of prison.
Oh yeah,
technicality. Woo!
Yeah,
Cosby.
Yeah.
Cosby. 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 Cosby.
I heard that he's giving free drinks out for everybody
who
comes over there.
Free drinks all day, every day.
He's like, hello, you just want to try some of my special fruity drink?
It's just like O.J. Simpson. He's out there just partying it up, making Twitter videos and Instagram videos and all that stuff. He's just having a good old time.
I just love that in the country, even though you know somebody did something, you can be free just because of a technicality.
Yeah. That's how the world works.
And
or you can go to prison because a jury finds you guilty because they won't let evidence be shown.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I mean, it balances itself out. It's perfect.
I like it too when like you go to jail or prison for breaking a law, and then while you're in there, they legalize it, but they don't let you go out.
Oh yeah, that's just normal practice.
Oh yeah.
Why would you get out? You broke the law. Even if though it's not a law anymore.
Yep.
I mean, you're still a fucking loser.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. What do people expect?
Pee picky pie poo pee pie poo. Picky picky
What
poo
are you
picky
gonna
pee
do?
pie poo.
Kamala Harris wants to win the case.
Kamala.
It's like, did you smoke weed?
Did you smoke the marijuana?
The marijuana
The wacky tobacco?
that we've never done giant studies on because it would prove that it's too healthy? But would you like a pack of Camels?
Okay, so I might have talked about him a couple times on here. There's a friend we got. I hang out with him mostly. His name's Joe, and he's a really funny guy. I was hanging out with him yesterday, and he was a little drunk. And we're at our friend Bob's house, and he's got chickens everywhere. And there's a picnic table, and we're sitting at the picnic table, and Joe grabs his bowl to smoke some weed. he takes his nug and he puts it on the picnic table, and he's talking, and then all of a sudden he picks up the nug and he's about to put it in his bowl to smoke it, and Bob goes, "Hey Joe, are you about to smoke that chicken shit?" And Joe looks, and he's got a fucking chunk of dried up chicken shit that was next to his pot. He was about to put it in his fucking bowl and smoke it. Chicken shit.
He should have let him smoke it. That would have been fun.
I was laughing so fucking hard. I'm like, oh my god. He just had this fucking chunk of chicken shit. He's like, I would have laughed so hard if he smoked it and he was acting all high for a moment. Like, oh, this is good, man.
It's good shit. It is good shit. It's top of the line shit.
Oh, man.
You're gonna shit when I tell you about this shit.
Oh, man.
Tell him the story about the shit.
To tell you the truth, sir, I have no brother. It was me. I hate sheep shit. If you guys haven't watched Almost Heroes, you gotta fucking watch it.
Farley, baby.
Yeah, Matthew.
His final movie.
Matthew Perry and Chris Farley. It is hilarious. It's like not a lot of people talk about it, and it's never like on Netflix or Amazon Prime or anything like that.
It didn't get its due for some reason.
It's got Eugene Levy in it. It's fucking hilarious. It's about the frontier and like
Lewis and Clark.
Yeah, it's based
going from the east to the west.
Mm-hmm. And Chris Farley and Matthew Perry are trying to beat
them.
Beat them to the coast before they get there, and it's just hilarious, man. Chris Farley definitely outdoes himself in the movie. It's probably my favorite. At least my top, 3 favorite Chris Farley movies.
Like Tommy Boy's amazing, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And Black Sheep has its moments, but it's not the top one. But yeah, Almost Heroes is right up there with Tommy Boy. And it doesn't have David Spade.
Yeah, which I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, David Spade's funny, and he's good, and he's got his role, but he's always has to play the same character because that's what he looks like.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, if there was anybody that they would have had him play is Matthew Perry's character, and Matthew Perry was the character.
And it wouldn't have been as funny, though, because Matthew Perry's more serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Matthew Perry, he's not the greatest actor on the planet, but, he's serviceable for a semi-goofy role, like in Friends.
Mm-hmm.
Where he probably was probably the funniest guy on Friends.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the stupid other guy.
Fucking David Schwimmer.
Yeah, David Schwimmer. He's got little Schwimmers.
I hate David Schwimmer. I hate him. And I always know when his voice is being used in any kind of animated thing. And I don't know what it is about that guy and his voice. I just fucking hate him. It's like he's like the not funny version of Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
It's like they were like, well,
he's like Ben Stiller mixed with Ray Romano.
Yeah. Something like that. I don't like it. It's not good. I've never thought he was funny. I've never thought he was
out of all the people on the show, he's not the one that would end up with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. No.
He does that on.
Who?
Oh, David Schwimmer.
Swimmy Schwimmer.
I got lots of swimmers that need out.
Oh, there's swimmers in my butthole.
They're swimmers. Look at all the swimmers.
Look at all the swimmers in my butthole. Dude, so you know how like we on one of our shows we're like talking about like how we the things we were the way we are is because we were born at a real young age.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, well, I was real young when I was born.
Yeah. Well, Lauren, you know Lauren.
Yeah,
Lolo. She was watching our show and she sent me this link to that show Drag Race with RuPaul, and this fucking dude on there, or chick, or whatever you want to call. Yeah,
they're usually maybe gay, but not even always.
Yeah, but anyway, one of the drag queens, they're saying the same exact thing, and I don't know how, because I thought we came up with that. I thought that was our thing. I never heard anybody else ever say that. I remember me and you were at the pig roast. At Samantha's pig roast, my niece, his cousins, and we just like started talking about how we were born at a young age, and kind of went from there on it. And this fucking drag queen on the RuPaul Drag Race show is saying the exact same thing, and it blew.
Well, I told you. I learned this a long time ago, and I think I have said it on there. There's no such thing as an original thought.
Yeah.
Like, once it leaves your mouth, it's...
Oh, yeah, I totally believe that. Energy. I totally believe that. There's no other explanation why the same fucking things that were invented on one side of the world were invented on the opposite side of the world at the same time when there was no way of communication. There was no... They didn't know each other existed, and they'd have the same thing, like bows and arrows, and paintbrushes, and beer, and just
wine,
tea, everything. It's just crazy. Like, people are just networked together, and...
As I said, there's weird things that happen in the world. Like, everybody thinks that this planet doesn't... Like, it's different shit. Like, everything's different. Things are stupid. Plants are stupid because they just sit there. That's not the case at all. There's so much proof out there that all these things, like there's, I think I told you about, is something like sea cucumbers or some shit that live out deep in the ocean. I don't even know if they're deep in the ocean, but you can literally, wherever you take them from, you cut one off and bring it to your house and hide it in a fucking hole somewhere in the dark. And when it's breeding season for them, wherever they're at, because the ones in this area breed at a different time, ones in a different area, and they know this. And wherever you get it from, they'll do the same shit. Like, release their seed or whatever.
Yeah.
At the same exact little 2-week period.
Did I tell you about
all the rest?
Was I did we talk about those monkeys that were washing the sweet potatoes? Did I tell you about that? There's like these monkeys that they were studying on this island that was all secluded, and the people watching it, they were putting these sweet potatoes there for the monkeys to eat, and one of the monkeys decided it was better if he washed the sweet potato in the water before he ate it, so he wouldn't get the dirt and shit. Well, all the other monkeys seen, so they were copying, but on an island adjacent from that island where they couldn't get to at all, those monkeys fucking didn't. They had been doing it, eating those same things at the same time, and one of them fucking monkeys figured it out and spread it over there. Like, they somehow mentally transported that, but everything is connected. Everything, like even these inanimate objects, they're like atoms don't touch each other.
Yeah. Everything
vibrates at a frequency, and we're just like all meshed together. We just don't see it. Like, it's crazy, man.
Show these flowers, monkey flowers.
Monkey flowers.
And these are real. I'm going to figure out a way to put them on the thing, but there's birds, there's monkeys, there's all this shit, but I don't got images here. So we're looking at it. You can't see it. Maybe I can figure out a way. I just don't have time to do all this editing shit. Otherwise,
down there.
Yeah. These pictures. But there's trees that know where they're at, and they mimic animals. And the reason why they do that is so that they can not get preyed upon by other animals.
Yeah.
And they have all these different ones, and they look just like little monkeys. They have eyes, nose, mouth.
Yep.
Oh yeah, real fucking plants.
That's
if
just
a
like,
tree is stupid.
Yeah.
How the fuck could a tree see what a monkey looks like?
They're connected through waves and everything, like they
and birds.
Yeah, and it's just like there's these plants.
Cats.
There's these plants that look like they're called pitcher plants, I think, and they look like a pitcher, and they have a little lid. And on the bottom of the lid, they make like the sticky, sweet sap. And these bats go in there to eat the sap. And while they're in there, they shit inside the pitcher. And the plant eats the shit. And like they purposely made themselves like that for the bats.
Yeah. I'm hoping our video didn't mess up because it's acting crazy. But that's because I'm doing shit.
Keebler Dave, cut it out.
Keebler! No Keebler Dave.
I know this is the ghost of Keebler Dave. Listen, I know we've talked shit about you, but we respect you, Keebler Dave. And, no hard feelings, I mean, I know you took my aunt and my cousin to Chuck E. Cheese and only bought them breadsticks to share. But, that doesn't make you a bad person, all right? Please, Keebler Dave, let us use our computer so we can keep doing our podcast.
Yeah, I think it's possible that the video froze. If that's the case, I'm not very happy about it. This computer literally is awful.
We need a new computer, guys.
Apple.
Excuse me.
I've never liked Apple. And it's very disappointing because we want to know that everything's going right.
Mm-hmm. Steve Jobs, you can go fuck yourself in hell.
Go fuck your fucking mother.
Go fuck yourself, Steve Jobs.
Alright, we're going to take a quick segue and see if we can get the video back online, and I'll try to sync it up.
Yeah, Kegels.
Let's see. And we're back on video. We're back on video. I'm going to find something really stupid to put in between those two videos.
You should have heard me singing the freaky Nanner song, yeah. Oh, the freaky Nanner show, yeah.
Baby boy, there's a baby boy out there. His name is Boo Boy.
There's a puppy out there. He's just a baby boy, but he looks like an old man.
Does it creep you out when I look at you like this?
Yeah. Booba likes to sneak out at night, and he climbs in other houses, and he finds women that are lonely, and he makes them not lonely. He's a very charming Booba.
Booba ain't got no coin purse.
Nope. It's all shriveled up. That means he ain't going to have no kids. He don't have to sign no papers.
No papers.
No.
He don't even have to go through the back door.
Mm-mm.
He can go right, knock on that front door, and go, baby.
You can give them that lipstick whenever they want. You can give them that red lipstick anytime.
You want some chai tea?
Yeah.
Chai tea.
Monkey Peters.
Monkey Peters are tasty when you eat them alone. Yeah, but we were talking about how the universe works and how we're all connected. Yeah, everything's connected in a weird way. Like I said, we didn't, maybe not showed a picture. I'm going to figure out all that stuff when I get time, but if plants can mimic animals, so that means they can see, and then I think I've mentioned on here before that you can play sounds of like an attack bug that attacks certain trees, and they'll literally change the biology to where it's poisonous just from the sound because they think they're being eaten by it. So if they can see and they can hear, so are they not smart? Just because they can't fucking move and they don't have any goddamn thumbs? And technically they do move, just over a slow time. Like if you watch time lapses of plants and trees,
people like put like posts up on it. They're like...
They don't grow around the thing. They just lift it up because
Yeah.
they're actually growing.
Yeah. It's crazy. If you put a plant away from sunlight, but you have a source of light somewhere near,
Yeah,
it'll grow towards.
for it.
Yeah, it'll grow towards the light.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, man.
Plants are not stupid. It's
I bet
part of everything.
Someday there will be a plant lawyer, and there'll be plants in movies acting. There's going to be all kinds of plant things that plants were discriminated against before, but. Yeah. There's going to be plant schools. Mm-hmm. All kinds of crazy shit, man.
Yeah. I mean, these schools, we don't know, how plants actually work, but, one class could be like 50 years for us, for all we know. And they, just learn, 4 plus 4. Mm-hmm. And they're it just takes a long time, but they're It's like in the movie Lord of the Rings we were talking about. When the Ents get together and they're like, we can't decide. It takes years to come up with a solution.
They're like...
And then all of a sudden, then someone gets caught on fire and they're like, I'm trying to fuck them up. Mm-hmm. No more asking questions.
Yep. So yeah, guys, the world... is way more. There's way more to the world than you think.
Yeah, a lot of shit. Fungus. A lot of people think fungus is an alien species.
Well,
came down and because the fungus also works with the plant life.
Oh yeah, and fungus can literally make living things
out of shit.
They can make a a tarantula or whatever climb up to the highest point of a tree. Latch onto it and die until it dies, and then the spores will grow out of the tarantula and spread onto more bugs and do the same thing, turn them into mindless zombies that make them climb back up the tree and do the same thing over and over again.
And there's other things like parasites that do that too that are, more animate. Mm-hmm. They go in and cause a fucking thing to go on a peak and jump off just so it could... eat its way out of the body and then reproduce itself.
Did you see that video of that snail where it had the things in its eyes? And they were like...
I may have.
I don't know. It was crazy. Shit. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. What if there's a parasite in us right now and we're being controlled by the parasites? Like, we're not really us, and the parasites are making us make the Freaky Nanner show.
But my thought on that is that a lot of people do have parasites, and that's what's wrong with the world. I seem normal.
Yeah.
I'm normal. How am I not normal? I'm a nice person, for the most part, but I don't cry at everything that happens. Take what I was talking about. Why I don't have any damn time to do this shit.
Yeah.
Because you hire somebody to work a job, and then they fall and hurt themselves tinily, and then I actually got hurt at a job, and I went to physical therapy for months, and I still hurt from it, and it's been almost 2 decades since then, and I still have problems from that. But someone falls and barely hurts themselves, and then they go to the doctor, and my doctor said, just keep working. Their doctor says, oh, you can walk around on crutches because you hurt you got a bruise or something. And we'll take you off work for weeks. No problem.
It all boils down to whether you're a weak person or not. And like I told you when we were on the phone the other day, I wasn't feeling very good the other day, and most of the time when anybody doesn't feel good, you're going to go home, and what do you do when you go home? You just fucking sit there and still don't feel good, but you're not getting paid. So when you're at work and you don't feel good, unless you literally cannot do anything, like you're immobilized, what's the point of going home? You're still not going to feel good when you go home. Just fucking stay.
I hurt. He was there. The time I fell between 2 vehicles, 2 big vehicles, hurt my leg.
I wasn't there, but I know it happened. And I wasn't there.
He wasn't there physically.
Yeah.
He was there, though. And then I fall, and I still can feel it in my leg where the muscle got ripped. And I fell, and what was right in front of my face was his piss bottle in the back of a truck.
Yeah, well, like, to explain the whole thing, I had it burned in my mind from previous jobs where driving a truck where I wasn't allowed to stop at a bathroom.
Don't waste time.
Yeah, I couldn't stop. So if I had to pee, I had to think quick and piss in whatever I had. So I had a bottle. I pissed in the bottle, threw it in the back of the truck. I was going to dispose of it later. And before I could get to it, he's unloading the truck into another truck, and he's working on it. And he slips in between the cracks and falls over, and my piss bottle's right in front of his face. I fucking felt so bad. I felt so bad. And then everybody's like, why did you pee in that bottle? Why would you do that? And I'm thinking to myself, like, because I didn't have time to stop. They're like, what do you mean you don't have time? You can make any time. You know, if you have to stop and go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. I'm like, I didn't know I could do that. Because when we worked at Sears, we worked fucking 15 hours a day. And we didn't have time to do anything.
Nothing. You literally can't even go home and go to sleep because you worked. Well, so a lot of times it was 16 hours, so you only had 8 hours left in the day. And some of that time is just going home and eating.
Mm-hmm.
You eat and take a shower, that's an hour of your day right there. Brush your teeth or whatever you got to do. And then there's no such thing as sleep. And anybody knows when you work a job, you don't just go home and go pass out. So that's how drinking starts. And then you're like chugging beers and shit trying to go to sleep.
Man, I remember before you even started working with me at Sears, the guys would make me drink with them to stay working there. And everybody I worked with drank. And the first day I started, the guy that I had to drive and the guy that was with me couldn't drive. And he was like, drive us to Pizza Hut. And I'm like, it's 10 in the morning. What are we going to Pizza Hut for? He's like, I'm going to Pizza Hut. So we stop. He's like, let me get 6, what are they called? Rolling Rocks. Those fucking beers called Rolling Rocks.
Oh, yeah.
He gives 3 to me, and he has 3, and he's like, hurry up, drink those. And I'm like, I gotta drive, man. He's like, drink those, or you ain't gonna work tomorrow. I'm like, okay. He's like, if I'm gonna drink, I need you to drink. Like, all right. So constantly when I'm with these guys, they're making me drink so that if they get caught drinking, they're not the only ones. So I'm fucking going to these job sites, fucking halfway drunk and shit, and I'm just like, now that I'm older, I'm looking back like, why did I do that? How did I do that? Like, I'm
we were
literally
pretty good.
What's that?
So we did pretty good.
Yeah.
People would always come or you'd go to their place and they'd be like having a party or drinking and they'd be like, yeah, having beers.
Oh yeah. People would always give us beer, and people would try to give us pot, and it was crazy. Like, since I've worked there, I've never had an experience like that again.
I have when I worked delivering pizza too.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I never had that ever since
But
then.
there were times, like, I hated Pizza Hut a lot because most of the workers are teenagers and they're lazy and they walk away from shit, so I was doing all the jobs. So there were actually times when I worked there, I would go buy me some tall beers at the store, and I'd be drinking them in the car and shit. And then, for some reason, like, when you're working and you're pissed off, like, the beer hits you different. And then I'd be, like, real fucked up, but I'd be at work and they'd fuck up an order and I'd be in there. That's when I'd get pissed and I'd scare everybody. I'd be slamming shit down. I'd be like, fucking motherfuckers! Shit. Throwing shit.
Dude, I remember I was pretty...
But I'd be so fast. I'd be so fast making food for some reason. Like,
I just remember when I worked for Sears, just being pretty buzzed up, and we get to this job, and it's winter time, so the back of the truck's all slippery, and I grabbed this dryer, and I could just grab the dryers and pick them up, and I was grabbing this dryer, and I'm so buzzed up at this thing sliding at the edge of the truck, and I dropped it on the ground, and the whole side of it caved in, and I'm like, oh no. So nobody else was around, and I see the guy coming up to us, and he's like up to the truck, and he's like, I'm so glad you guys are here. My dryer's been broken for 3 weeks, and we haven't been able to do laundry. And I'm like, oh. And he comes up, and I'm like, yeah, man, I opened it, and it's damaged like that. I'm so sorry. He's like, And you could see his heart break. And I'm like, oh, he's going to be so mad. And you could see his heart break, and then he just goes, it's not your fault. And I'm thinking to myself, like, it is my fault. He didn't know that. And he's like, how could you know? He's like, there's no way you could know that. And he's like, well, let's just try to do it anyway, because I really need to do laundry. So we go and we take this dryer and we bring it in, we install it, and we turn it on, and it's going like this. And he's like, well, I guess just keep it here until we can get a new one. And this dude, like, freaking, I gotta give this dude props, man. He, like, tried to take the best out of it, and he still used the dryer. And the worst part was when he was just like, it's not your fault. But there was a time when me and Leonard, you remember Leonard, right? Yeah. We had this giant treadmill.
Oh, yeah. And that story involves me too.
Fucking broke the treadmill on purpose so he didn't have to deliver.
It wasn't a baby treadmill.
No, this thing was I've never seen one that big before.
It had like a 60 to 70 pound skid built atop it.
And if you've been to Power Planet Fitness or whatever, those treadmills were smaller than this treadmill.
And this people's house was down back in the back of the house, over a tiny door, and then a winding staircase down to the basement. I think it went right and then it went left or some shit.
Yeah.
It was a weird fucking thing. And this thing's gigantic, so and it's super fucking heavy, and you gotta wind it down this fucking thing and then open it. And I think, well, you guys had broke it twice, right? Before
at first,
and then it was broken once when we had it.
Yeah, well, we only broke it on purpose one time. It kept coming back broke. Like when we'd open it, it'd be broken. But every time we figured out it was broken, it wasn't until we got it installed. So we kept doing this whole fucking thing, getting it in the basement, and we'd get it put together. It'd take an hour and a half, and every time it'd be the last stop of the day. So it'd be like 9 o'clock at night. And this lady'd be like, "This is a huge lady, like huge, bigger than us." And she was like, gigantic. And she was like, "I'm so excited about this! Finally, I can get in shape." And we're thinking, like, your ass ain't never fucking used this thing. And anyway, we go to turn it on, and something's broken on it every time. So then we got to fucking carry it back out. And so one day, me and Leonard get here, and it's late, and we're just ready to be done, and we're just like, I don't know if this thing's gonna be broken or not. But let's just fucking break this thing anyway, because then we don't have to carry it down there. And the lady's all excited outside. She's like, "Oh, I hope this is the one!" Because this is like the 4th time we've been out there. And we're like, he's like, Leonard's like, "Man, we shouldn't break it." I'm like, "No, we have to." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, fuck it." So we're going, grabbing this box and shaking it and breaking it on the ground. And then we're like, let's bring it out there in front of her and be like, let's check to make sure it's not broke before we carry it in. And so we do that in front of her, and it's broke. And she's like, no! And we're like, maybe you should order it for a morning delivery, because we knew if that happened, we wouldn't have to deliver it. And so we're like, maybe you should set it up for a morning delivery. And she's like, and we're like, because it's in the truck all day and it's getting moved around and the truck's bouncing on roads and bumps and it's probably getting damaged on the trip.
But that didn't happen. Well, it could have happened. We don't know. But we ended up with it at some point. It was our last stop, I think. We were like, fuck this shit. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
I brought it down there and set it up. And it worked.
Yeah.
And we spent like an hour and 45 minutes there.
I don't think there was ever a day we got home earlier than 7.
No.
I think 7 was early too. Like if we got home at 7, that was like a good day.
The only time we did is when we had Hebert.
Yeah. I had these
Nicaraguans.
Guatemalans.
The Guatemalans. Yeah.
I had these Guatemalans. At the time, I didn't realize that, it was illegal to use them, and I didn't realize it was illegal to use them because I couldn't claim them in my taxes when I paid them, and they were illegal immigrants, and I would hire them sometimes when we didn't, want to do all the work because they do it real cheap. We'd get like 2 of them for $80, and usually you pay like $120 for one guy.
We worked every day.
Yeah, we worked every day, and these fucking guys were good. These guys were like,
and they're tiny.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
half our size.
Barely talked any English, and like I'd be with Hebert, and he was just like this big round guy, but he could fucking do anything, and he'd be like moving shit around, and I'd be like, okay, we're gonna do this, and he'd be like, go grab that, go do this, and then I'd be like, okay, and he'd grab a vent, and he'd go behind the fridge, and we'd be in the back of the truck, and I'd be like, what's the vent for? And he's like, I'm going pippies. I'm like, you're going what? Oh shit, I'm sorry, dude. And he'd fucking take the vent. It was an aluminum vent, and he'd turn it like a U, like this. And he'd make like a piece of macaroni, and he'd pee in it so it'd all go at the bottom. And he'd fucking go. It didn't matter where we were at. He'd go outside the truck, and he'd fucking dump it right outside the truck in front of people. Nobody would say anything. Nobody would even acknowledge it.
See, we weren't as smart. We would piss in
Bottles.
Washers. Bottles or washers.
Oh yeah. Well, for a while we were pissing in washers, and then that fucking guy we had like on. Because like when you deliver for pretty much any company, you don't really work for that company.
No.
You're
third party.
You're third party. So they have representatives of the company you work for to kind of monitor what you're doing when you're loading and unloading trucks. Well, one of the guys, his last name was O'Reilly. I can't remember his first name. But anyway, I really liked the guy. And he was probably the best guy out of all of them to get along with. And we're unloading all of our haul-away washers and fridges and everything from the day before to load up the new shit. And the fucking hose from the drain comes popping out of the washer and leaks all over the floor of the loading dock. And right away, he goes, is that piss? And I go, what? What do you mean? Why would there be piss in a washer? He goes, dude, this isn't my first fucking rodeo. I know that you guys piss in these washers. Clean that piss up! So I had to fucking sit there and mop my piss up off the ground. I was so embarrassed. So then we started pissing in bottles, but we didn't want to pour them out like Hebert would in front of all the customers, so we had a dishwasher box in the corner of the truck, and we'd fucking put the piss bottles in there, and they'd accumulate, and we just kept putting it off, like getting rid of these piss bottles. And we had like fucking 50 of them, like 50 bottles, like this size, filled with piss, and it would be this color too because it'd be in there for like months. And anyway, we had finally just had enough, and we started kind of slacking off or messing up shit, and they were like, that's it, we're taking your contract away. So they took my contract away for working at Sears, and they were like, get your truck empty. And we got the truck empty, but we left that box full of piss bottles, and they were like, you gotta get rid of that box full of piss bottles. So me and Nanner, we just grabbed that fucking box, and we go out in the back parking lot, and we're just fucking chucking them everywhere in the parking lot, and in the fucking field behind the parking lot, just every fucking bottle.
Whoever mowed that lawn that year got a lot of piss all over everywhere.
Yeah, sometimes I like to think that like some of them never got discovered, and they got burrowed in the dirt, and they're fossilized, and someday in the future aliens are going to come
500 years from now. Whoever comes out and is like, oh, we need to fix the human race.
And it's going to be like when in Jurassic Park they find the amber with the mosquito, and they use us as the basis of DNA to clone us.
And then we just come back.
Yeah.
It's just us two.
Yeah.
And they're like, as soon as we pop out, we're little babies, but we're all happy with it. And they're like, oh, it's cute. So cute, let's raise it. And then when we get up, we're just the same people.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll kill you! We'll kill you with this fork!
No, they're like, what do you want to eat? And I'm like, Homan. They're like, what do you want to eat? Homan. And I'm like,
you're poking at them.
Eat. No.
Yeah, you're eating whatever shit they make, and and they're like, what's up with you? Are you alright?
No, like
that. And you grab his face. And then you're like, oh,
me thrown now.
Yeah. It's going to happen. They're going to find our fossilized peepees.
Mm-hmm. It's there. Good. It's out in the world. Mm-hmm. If that didn't happen, at least we spread our pea seed all over that field and whatever grows there forever.
Yeah. Just like when we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
if trees grow there, our peas going to go in those trees. They're going to make barrels out of them trees.
Yeah.
They're going to put fucking bourbon in them barrels. And then they're going to have the best fucking bourbon. It's going to be so good.
So good.
Chicharrone.
And that was many years. This is too young. It's going to be like some badass, like 12-year-old.
People are going to drink the bourbon. They're going to be like, kind of want to murder somebody.
Yeah. I loved my wife 5 minutes ago. Oh, I fucking hate her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and damn it. I had another thought. I forgot. Oh, yeah, and then say like a tree grows, some weird tree, and they're like, it's some fucking new tree we haven't seen. It's got our DNA mixed in it.
Yeah.
And then the flowers come out, and it's got our faces in the flowers.
Yeah, you just see a tree like a flower like this.
Just different faces of us.
Oh yeah, if you drink the nectar of the tree, it makes you want to kill yourself. You're like, I don't know, I just kind of want to kill myself.
Yeah. You're like, oh, this is a weird plant. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, it gives you an impending sense of just wanting to end your own life right when you drink it. Drink the nectar of the tree. It's crazy though, because there's trees. Like, this is one thing that scares me, and well, I don't want to say it scares me, but it's crazy. Is that like, if we didn't have internet and TV and shit like this, and like the world ended right now as we knew it, like we didn't all die, but it would start all over again with all the people eating weird shit they didn't know they could eat and die and shit. There's plants, literally, if you just touch them, they fucking will kill you. Just from touching them. They'll give you agonizing pain. And you can't tell just from looking at it. Like, people think they're so smart, but people are way dumber than they were 100 years ago, because nobody knows how to fucking fend for themselves anymore. Oh, a blue pinky.
I don't know where that came from. I just took a shower.
But yeah, plants are crazy, man. Like, and like bugs are crazy, and like, I don't know, man. I think like if I was to go get put in another country that I was not familiar with, and just like put at my own disposal, like to figure out to eat and shit, I probably would die, because I would not know what to eat and shit.
Maybe you just have to sit there and be hungry for a few days, figure out what they do, and then go, I guess I'm doing that. Yeah, watch
the animals and see what the animals eat, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, people think they're so smart. They're not.
Yeah, that's really what it was. You know, you'd get a group of people all together, and then there'd always be some fucking loser in the group, and you'd be like, I'm hungry.
Go eat that.
Go try that.
Chanka, punkata, skata.
Do you think they made a game where, like, you know, like nowadays?
Yeah, there's like 4 foods, and they sit around, and they got a circle.
It's just a game.
And they just go,
oh, you lose, you die!
And they're like, and they just chop them up.
Yeah, and they eat him. People are crazy.
Oh,
hoggy dick.
Hoggy. Ha, big hoggy.
Hoggy dick. Hoggy dick. Hoggy dick.
Oh.
Pep smear.
What do you think about the crazy Kanye West? He's going crazy because Pete Davidson's begging his old lady.
You know, I've heard a little bit about that. I don't really keep up too much on it, because I don't give a flying fuck about any of that. But I did see I seen a clip of Kanye on the Joe Rogan show. Plus, I love you, Joe Rogan. You're pretty cool. Anyway, he's on there, and fucking Kanye just has this weird look on his face, and he's like, how much is the earth? Kanye goes, I'm gonna buy the earth. And he's got this weird smile on his face, like he's like, I don't know. It's this crazy, weird, confused smile. And Kanye and Joe Rogan's just looking at him like confused. He goes, what would you do if you ruled the earth? And he goes, I would hire people to make mechanical bees. and Joe Rogan goes, can I ask you a question? What is wrong? What is the name of what's wrong with you? And Kanye looks so fucking confused. Like, that dude is fucking crazy, man. Like,
Yeah.
He is crazy. Like,
it's interesting. I mean, personally, I'm still not into the new rap shit, so Kanye's music does nothing for me, really.
I don't really.
But I think he's an interesting person. He's got something not right, but he also was in like a bad car accident, I think, when he was young.
You know, I don't want to say anything bad about. I just don't care about him. I don't care about any of them. I don't want to say anything bad about the guy. One thing I do, if I could give any kind of positive feedback about what I think about Kanye, I would say that I appreciate how he doesn't care about what other people think.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does not care what other people. He was just gonna say whatever he wants to say, and I admire that. But anything else is just like. I don't really care. I don't, I don't care what he's doing. I don't care about fucking Kourtney Kardashian or Kim Kardashian or anything like that.
It is funny, though. Like, it was something like they were texting each other back and forth. Pete's trying to be cool and be like, we should talk man to man, whatever. And he's, blowing heat to him. Like, can't remember exactly what he said, but Pete Davidson sends him a picture of himself. And he's like, I'm in your wife's bed.
Yeah, like I never even knew who that guy was until this whole thing.
Well, I knew he was a Saturday Night Live.
Oh, that's what he's from?
Yeah.
I thought he was.
Well, his dad died at 9/11 too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a firefighter.
Yeah, I mean, never really knew who he was. I thought it was hilarious that I don't care about either of them, but I thought it was hilarious that fucking Robert, supposedly from what I heard, Robert Pattinson went to Pete, what's his name? Davidson's club. He's got like a club or a bar. And I guess Robert Pattinson just started playing Kanye music the whole time he was there on the fucking radio. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that's funny. Even if I didn't like either of them, I just do that shit to stir up the pot. Like, I don't know. I just like to see what people will do and fuck with people. It's my nature.
Yeah. Pete Davidson's he's a white dude. He looks like he's black.
He looks mixed or something.
Yeah, but he's white. And then I don't know. He's got he's weird looking. It's weird looking, really tatted up, but he got, I think what helped him overall, because years ago he dated like Ariana Grande, and for some reason everybody thinks she's like the hottest thing in the world. She's like maybe 90 pounds.
Yeah, I think she's attractive, but
she's cute. Yeah,
I think she's attractive, but for me, it's like you said, there's not much to her. Like, she's got a really pretty face, but she doesn't really look like a woman.
Yeah,
like
she looks like the Disney character she was.
Yeah,
15 years ago. Whatever.
I like women to like look like women, and she looks just like a teenager to me. She doesn't look like however old she is. I don't know how she is. Probably like 26 or something. But she looks like a teenager, and I don't like that.
Well, that's where he got fame. I think she publicly stated like that he had a big dick or something. Like, he has a real big dick, and that's where he's getting the fame from. Like, all the women are like, "Oh, Pete Davidson,
big old Peter,
goofy comedian. He's got a big old caca,
big Peter.
And he looks like a black guy, even though he's not.
Big Peter Davidson.
Yeah, big Peter. David meets Goliath. David meets Goliath. Pussy.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's crazy, like, the way my mindset's changed over the years. Like, I remember when we were younger.
Yeah, when we liked, like, tiny girls back when we were younger.
Well, yeah, but that's not even the direction I was going. But I don't know, man. I don't think I've ever really liked tinier girls. I like chicks that are filled out. I think I've always kind of liked...
Well, I had the famous thing. I think I still have the paper where I had, like, a list... Me and my friends listed like our perfect woman.
Yeah.
It was like a short, super skinny girl with decent sized boobs. And like my ideal girl way back in that day was like a Gwen Stefani or something.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Gwen Stefani's hot.
She's pretty, but I'm not.
I like women
anywhere near attracted to.
I like thick women. I like women with curves. I like women that just look mature, not old, just mature and like don't like wear all the fucking makeup, and
Yeah, no makeup.
I don't like too much makeup, and I don't really like women that wear like lots of dresses and shit either. I like women that are just wear normal clothes and.
Yeah, I like a girl if she's hot, just wearing some jogging pants.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't know. What was I saying before? Oh yeah, as far as like famous people and shit, like I don't know if this is just for everybody that's like when you get older, but like the older I get, the less and less I care about meeting famous people or knowing anything about famous people. Like there's famous people that I like in movies, but like I don't think about in my head like, oh, I wish I could meet that guy. He'd probably be really cool in person. Actors in themselves, I've convinced myself that most of them
Are fucked up.
Are fucked up, and like that's why they're good actors, because they convince themselves that they're these people, and like they are like manipulative, and I mean I'm fucked up. I know I am, but
we're fucked up in a different way.
Yeah, these people like. They're not even close to the people they portray in these movies and shit. So anything you like about these people, they are replicating whatever the director or the producer or anybody are telling them to do. And and
they can't. They have to follow the line. There's a line for an actor.
Mm-hmm.
You're this type of person, and if you don't follow that line, whichever way it wiggles, you're either some crazy fuck or you're some stupid fuck.
Yeah.
So you have to follow a line or you just don't get work.
And
or if you were a woman when Harvey Weinstein was there, you could just suck his dick. And that worked too. And that's why, I think I mentioned it before even. Like, remember the movie Mimic?
Mm-hmm.
Where the cockroaches became like human-like?
Yeah.
They were killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Mira Sorvino.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, Mira Sorvino back then was hot. And she had some big movies.
Yeah.
Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion, and just some movies. But she was becoming a famous actress, and then from what I heard, that she denied Harvey Weinstein because he wanted to do shit to her too, and that's why she just disappeared from the earth.
Yeah, man. I really like. I mean, I'll always like movies. I like movies. I've always been a movie buff. I love watching all that. But I've had a different outlook on actors in general. Like, when I watch movies, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Director of this is really smart. Or, like, the producer of this. Like, I give more props to the people behind the scenes that nobody sees than the actual actor themselves. Like, they're just like a tool. They're just like... they're just like an instrument for the... they have talent.
I mean, it can be. There's certain things, like certain movies. We talked about Joker on the last episode. Like, you couldn't do Joker with anybody. It had to be Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
The movie would have been something completely
different. I agree with that with all types of stuff. But I'm just saying, like, as far as like how there's almost everybody... in America, they're like, I wish I could meet this person. Yeah. They'd be so nice to meet. They're not going to be anything like who you think they are.
And they don't care about you.
No, they don't. Like
at all, especially actors.
They don't. All these people...
different. They're not... Because they're making the money up front anyways.
Yeah.
So they're not driven by how many people go see the movie. They really don't give a fuck. Like, it's accolades. So they get the SAG Awards, they get the Oscars, Emmys, all that bullshit. And that's what they're going for. They want the accolades because they did the work and they feel like they worked hard and they did a good job. That's what they're working for. They don't give a fuck about whether you watch the movie or not. And it doesn't matter how big the movie is, because the biggest movies in the world don't always win awards. So they just want to hone their craft and be able to do their vision of the movie the way they want to do it and shit like that. And then there are some actors, though, that... they're good actors, but their goal is to make good product for the customers, and then they go out and do all these indie films that people like and enjoy, like Kevin Smith, per se. People like that. If they're not in it for that, they love the process of making a movie. There are people like that, but most of the actors don't give a fuck. They get paid $10 million whether you go see the movie or not.
Yeah.
or 40 million or 50 million. That's why Scarlett Johansson's in the movie. She don't give a fuck about nobody. She has the movie. They release it on a thing on streaming, and so she has to sue Disney to get money because they weren't supposed to release it on that. She don't give a fuck about who gets to see it. She just wants the money.
She wants money.
She wants the damn money.
And more money. She
Not
wants
like
more
$40
money.
million ain't enough. She wants more because more people
money.
saw it.
Yeah. I don't give a shit about any of that shit, man. I remember when his brother Don, we started making, he started making masks, and I got more interested into it over the years, but he got me into it. We would go to these conventions, and there'd be some famous people there, depending on who you were, like what you considered famous. And I really looked up to these people, and I really thought that it was going to be life-changing to meet these guys. And I can't tell you how disappointing it was to meet these people. Like, they were nothing. There's no way they could have been more opposite to the way I thought that they would be in real life.
And that's too, also to my point, same thing. Like, most of the time when you go to shit like that, like the big actors, they're the ones that are the assholes, and they're like, charge you $100 for a photo and a signature and shit. But it's the ones that just are in it because that's their job. They work as they're in the whatever you call it, the union, the actors union.
Yeah.
The SAG or whatever, and they fucking just work. Those are the nicer ones, and they want to meet the fans, and they want to boost because they want to be in every movie because that's their job. That's how they make money.
Yeah.
They're not big, huge movie stars, but they are, but they're not the same. So those ones are usually cool. It's the ones that are pompous asses that think that everything they do is gold, and they need to be paid for. They don't care what the people give a shit about.
You know what's funny is when I met the people I met a bunch of different horror movie actors. I met Tom Savini, and it's funny because back then, when I had a different mindset than I did now, when I met Tom Savini, I thought he was the biggest asshole out of all of them. But now, looking back and remembering like the interaction I had with him and like how he acted and stuff, he was probably the realest person out of all of them, and probably the most respectable out of all of them. You know, he took me and my cousin, his brother, and he basically traded one of the masks that my cousin made for us to get autographs and pictures and with him, and he talked to us for a little bit, and you know, like he was kind of like he seemed kind of arrogant at the time because we were like basically sucking his balls the entire time. But just for him to actually have taken the time to come to our table and like show interest in what we were doing and like trade us something that really probably didn't mean much to him, to give us stuff that he charged pretty good amount of money for other people, just for him to do that and stuff like that was actually pretty nice. And all the shit we said to him, he probably hears that all day, every day. Oh, yeah. What is he supposed to do?
Hundreds of people.
Was he supposed to be like, oh, I've been waiting for someone
to come along, say that exact thing.
I've been waiting for some guys that don't have any history in any kind of profession.
So I'd say it's cool to meet. I've met a lot of like bands and stuff, and like they always seem fairly nice. That's their job. They can't be an asshole to you when you meet them. So they're nice, but some of them, you know, take an extra time, and I don't go up to him and be like, "Oh, that's the best album I ever heard."
Remember when you were in this thing? Like with Chris Farley, when he's like, "Remember when you were in that? That was cool." The best thing you can do is just talk to him like a normal person. Yeah. Oh, my ears are getting hot. But yeah, I've learned that too. Is like if you meet someone famous, just treat them like a normal person. Don't suck their dick.
My idea is if I'm somewhere and there's famous people like at a restaurant or something, I do want to say hi because you don't get to see people like that all the time. You just acknowledge them from across the room, hey, and then go on your way.
Yep.
Because they don't want to be disturbed. They don't want you to interrupt their fucking food or whatever they're doing. They got family time just like you do. Like if you walked up, I mean, we've talked about it a million times when we're doing our job and some retard comes up and asks us a stupid question. Oh,
You can throw that in the back of my truck.
Throw that in the back of my truck. Can I have that?
You've heard that a million times.
Samples?
Yeah.
Like, that pisses us off the same way it would them.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you be pissed off at them for being an asshole when they're out doing the things they got to do, and then you just interrupt them?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely as you get older, you learn like what's actually meaningful and what's not meaningful. And
like I said, it's fine to acknowledge somebody. You see somebody, just like if you see your fucking cousin and you don't really want to talk to them.
you just go.
Yeah, you just say, hey, Bobby, what's up? Bobby. You don't even have to touch it. Just stay away from them. Don't get a picture. Don't do any of that shit. You know you met them. That's all you need.
Yeah. I met Tony Todd, and it was funny. The funniest thing ever happened, because I wasn't even mad about it. I thought it was funny. He's sitting in his chair, and he's got a white hoodie on, and he looked like he had just been partying too hard. And he had his arms like this, and it was in the beginning of the day, like before customers started coming in, because we were vendors, so the vendors could come in before the customers. And I'm walking to try to see who I could meet, and Tony Todd's sitting there like this from Candyman. And I go up to Tony Todd's table, and I just kind of stare at him for a minute. And he could see that I was staring at him, and he just was trying to pretend he don't know I'm there. And I go, hey, Tony. He just kind of like looks up like at me like this, and I go, you don't have to if you don't want to, but can I get a picture with you? And it took like all the bravery I had to do that. And he just goes, no, man, I don't really want to do that. And I go, okay. And that was my interaction with Tony Todd. No, man, I don't really want to do that.
A lot of these people they don't work much anymore. That's their income. They have to do it. And going into the same job for years, that you're not enjoying that moment. You have to work yourself up to it. You're like, wake up and you're like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Fucking job. Fucking piece of shit. I know exactly how the day's going to go.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks. And then the same thing they got to get through. Like, they don't want to fucking do this bullshit, horse shit, fucking retards. You know how many retards is like when I listen to the radio on a sports channel and some retard calls in. Like, it pisses me off if some guy calls in and he uses his name and his name's the same as mine. As soon as I hear that name, I'm like, oh, no, don't do it. Like, your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's such a terrible opinion. And
I hate
people are so fired up over stupid shit.
Free Beer and Hot Wings acknowledged it a few years ago when I was listening to him, and I totally agreed. I hate it when they get people on the radio and the first thing the person asks is how are you doing? Yeah. And they're like, we don't care. You're just wasting our time. Quit asking us how we're doing. It's just a stupid question.
So I just say, what up?
Yeah. And then
nobody has to respond.
You don't have to say her name either, because they're not going to remember who you are.
Just like doing this, yeah.
Yeah.
What up?
Yeah, people don't. I don't know. I hate it when I'm watching, like, one of the things I hate is, like, when I'm watching a commercial that's, like, a local commercial, and they have, like, people that you're never going to, like, nobody knows who they are. Nobody's going to be like, I know that guy. And they're like, hi, my name's Brian Gabriel. And I'm a dentist in your local dentist shop. It's like that. And I'm like, you literally don't even need to be in this commercial. Like, what is the point? When you go
to the dentist, it's probably 1 out of 5 chance you even get him as your dentist.
And it's like, and there's so many commercials I see that are like that for different companies that are local, like tire companies and window companies and fucking anything. And the people,
I'm Brad Farley,
and they have the people.
I'm your window expert.
Yeah, the owners of the companies or whatever feel like they need to be in the commercial. Like that's going to make you want to buy it. Like you're like, well, I really respect the fact that the owner put themselves in the commercial. I want to go there.
My daughter went to school with his grandniece.
I hate it so much. And those billboards you're driving past when they fucking have the people that own the companies on there.
Service professor.
Like the guy.
Fix it and a snap.
There's a guy, he's standing and he's got his arms like this, and he's like this Joe Schmo looking guy, overweight and shit. And he's got these fucking green screen safes on his arms. They don't even look like they're on his arms. And he's like, for like some stupid thing. I don't know. It looks stupid. It's embarrassing. Like, I'm embarrassed for the guy when I see it. And I just imagine him be like, what would be a good way to get advertisement? I know. If I put my arms like this and I put safes on it, like, why? You literally, all you have to fucking do is put your name of your company on the billboard, maybe put a safe on there and be like, as safe as a safe. Or something like that. Like, nobody's going to look at your face and be like, that's a guy that I trust.
What would actually be funnier is if they had the commercial and it wasn't the real guy.
Yeah.
It was some fucking other person doing the acting, and then during the video there's like a small box up here with an arrow that says, not actual Scott Peterson.
Like he's really famous.
Yeah.
We couldn't get the actual guy, so we have an impersonator.
That would be better.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. There are some commercials though.
If they try to make it funny, and it actually is. Like, I do like that old one. It's like, we need new winders.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about.
So stupid.
And they do a bunch of other ones that are funny
acting,
too.
Yeah.
They do like a mafia one.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be cheesy and funny.
Yeah.
Like, those ones are good.
Yeah, like my favorite of all time is, I think I got it from the Free Beer and Hot Wings, is that Red House.
Oh,
Black people and white
people
buy
get my
furniture.
And Hispanics
too. Yeah.
That's actually, okay, there's a show, and a lot of people probably know about it. It's called, it's on YouTube. It's called the Good Mythical Morning Show. And it's got Rhett and Link on it.
Yep.
And they used to make commercials for companies, and that was one of their commercials they made.
They did.
Yeah, they made that commercial. Yeah, and they're really popular now.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that until just like a couple years ago. But I always thought that commercial was funny. Like,
yeah, that's a great commercial.
My name's Bob, and I'm
Big Head. Yeah, I'm black.
Yeah, my name's Bob, and I'm white. And we both
I'm a white person.
We both work at Red Barn Furniture.
Red House.
Yeah, Red House. We're black people and white people buy furniture. And Hispanics too. And everybody.
It's so funny. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Now I like Rhett and Link even more.
They're funny, man. I
don't watch a lot of their stuff anymore, but
I can't, like, I have a problem. I know it's like a personal problem, but I can't like watch consistently something over and over every day because I get irritated hearing the person talk or hearing this or hearing that. Certain things I pick up certain mannerisms of things that irritate me. So if I watch it too consistently, I get really irritated and I have to stop. But for some reason, that show doesn't do that for me. Like, I regularly watch the episodes every day. And I think it's funny. Like, I don't know. I think it's just because like they purposely just be themselves and they're not trying to act in any way.
I mean, he's talked about that a billion times. That's why Joe Rogan's famous, because he just acts like himself.
Yeah, that's another one I can
things he wants to do.
Like, there's nothing in the show where like they are doing it as an act. Yeah. They're just being themselves, doing what they want to do, and I like that. I hate like shit where like you can tell like they're purposely putting that in there, and you can predict that they're going to do it, and it's just part of the act.
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, I watch one of the podcasts I watch is Fighter and the Kid with Brian Callen, Brendan Schaub, and Chappelle Lacey, comedians. Mm-hmm. And Brendan Schaub used to be a fighter, and that's why it's called Fighter and the Kid. But he, it's a cool show. That's fun. But they also have one with Theo Von, which doesn't have Brian Callen, but Chappelle's on it a lot, and has different people on. The black guy from Workaholics.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's on it a lot too, and Chris D'Elia. It's called King and the Sting, and Theo Von's King, and then he's the Sting, and they have like a format to the show. Mm-hmm. Like, I like them; they're all funny, and the show can be funny, but just following that format and then having like these segments that they do makes the show not interesting, and I can't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm really bored, I'll watch it, and there's some funny stuff I just can't. That format where it's like something put together just isn't funny.
Mm-hmm.
It makes all the fun takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
when it could be just these funny people together having a good time.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever watch Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
I love Rick and Morty.
I've
And
seen the new season. Yeah.
one thing that really irritates me about like critics, I want to say, but they're usually just stupid people that like leave their comments on shit online or whatever. But as like and I've seen this with like a lot of newer shit that I've been watching lately, like Mandalorian, Book of Boba, lots of different shit. Where like these people, instead of really caring about like what amuses them or what entertains them, they care more about like how precise and like how how detailed like things fit together and how consistent things are and shit. And like I respect that to a certain degree, but at the same time, at the end of the day, I just want to be entertained. And if something entertains me, it entertains me. And that's one thing I noticed about Rick and Morty, the newer seasons, the 4 and 5, is like I really like those shows. Like they're good. I like them. They make me laugh. But if you go like on these comments on like for these shows or like forums or whatever, all these people are like, this doesn't make sense. They contradict themselves. Yeah. Rick is supposed to be this guy, and then this show he does this complete opposite.
As if they go back and watch every episode they did, and then go 3 seasons ahead and go, oh yeah, this doesn't fit the timeline of
that's what they're doing. 2. And they're like, Morty, the whole concept of the show is supposed to be Morty's this kind of person and Rick's this kind of person, and and now Morty's this kind of person, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, they're what? Fucking cartoons.
The Simpsons have been on fucking TV for 35 years, and their shit's... Oh, my volume's dead, but we're fine.
Okay. They're fucking cartoons. They can be whatever the fuck they want. If it entertains you... That's the point. That's what the purpose of it is. It doesn't matter. Like, if you're fucking sitting there taking notes on shit while you're watching the show, then you got no fucking life.
Cartoon for one.
And, like, but that's the same thing when I'm watching, like, Mandalorian or Book of Boba. I like both those shows. And then when I'm watching the reviews and shit about them, people are like, they completely contradict themselves on this and this and this. and Bane, Cad Bane, he was a B-14 blue in Clone Wars, and now he's a B-17 blue, and his nose is 4 degrees shorter. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, this shit's so stupid. People just take shit way too seriously. Like,
just enjoy.
Like, there are some things that you can do that can really fuck up a show.
Yeah.
Like, if you just don't pay any attention, you come out with something like, you know, certain movies, Chucky movies, Halloween movies, some of them, like, took liberties, and certain ones, like Halloween 3, has nothing to do with Halloween. Shit like that can take you out of something that you're interested in, but overall, it's just entertainment.
Yeah, that's the point of it. It's not real. None of it's real.
No. Like that, I think, like, I'm disappointed a lot in, you know, some of the Marvel Universe movies that have come out lately. Just because they're trying so hard to, like, build this thing. But I think overall, this might actually work out better, that they're, like, creating all these multiverses and shit, because then they can just make movies.
Yeah.
And it can fit any timeline, and you can have fun with it.
I agree with that. I just think that, like, I've liked everything the Marvel. I like everything.
Marvel time, baby.
I like everything the Marvel time. The Marvel universe has been doing with the shows and all that. But one thing I gotta say that I'm very disappointed in is the Spider-Man multiverse into the Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah. And I know we talked about it on the phone, but all that fucking movie is just to explain why Sony's taking over Spider-Man. Yeah. That's why, and why Spider-Man is not going to be in any more Marvel movies. That's the only point they made that whole fucking movie. There's no point. It doesn't contribute to any of the other stories. It's not going to contribute to the future stories. You can watch all the fucking MCU universe movies and not have to watch this last Spider-Man No Way Home, and not, like, you literally, like, don't need it. You don't need that fucking movie. Like,
I'm gonna talk.
okay.
I get. Me and you talked about this, actually. I'm just pointing out benchmark. Before I take a drink, I'm going to do this. So this is fucking serious. I'm going to go on a tangent about fucking TV and movies that I don't understand how, for one, all these people think that the Spider-Man No Way Home was the best one of all three. It's the worst one of all the fucking 30,000 of them they could make.
Mm-hmm.
Start off. Any movie, it doesn't matter what it is, any movie, any show, anything that has too many characters gets fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I'll take it back to, say, Walking Dead. Walking Dead was fucking awesome for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And they had, at the very beginning, they had like 8 characters or something.
8 main characters.
Yeah. And they lasted for seasons and seasons, and some would die off, and then you just replace them with 1 or 2, and you keep it to that simple core. And because it was a long show and it was many episodes, that works.
Mm-hmm.
You can have more characters, and you can build their stories, you can tell their backstories, all that stuff. That works.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get later, and you start killing off, and people don't want to do the show anymore, so you get rid of characters, and then you're like, well, what do we do? Let's just throw fucking 9 more characters. We'll have a whole fucking other system of characters that are added to the characters. So now you got an hour show that used to be an hour about these characters. Now you got a half hour for these characters. You got a half hour for these characters. And they can't intermingle. So you got to focus on 2 fucking different things. And you can't actually focus on anybody. So now you're all jumbled up. You got half a story for this one, quarter of a story for this one, a full story for this one, and this one. And then a couple of them die off, and then it gets all fucking muddied. And you can't do it because you don't have time for that many fucking characters. Spider-Man did the same thing. Like, Spider-Man 1 was good. Spider-Man 2 is pretty good. Spider-Man 3, all of a sudden there's a shit ton of villains.
Dude, this is what the point of the third one... Okay, other than the Sony thing. The whole reason why the third one existed was because fucking Peter wanted his friends to go to MIT. That was it. Like, that's the whole reason everything happened.
Yeah.
And, first of all, that's stupid. That's fucking dumb. Like, that's a dumb reason. Like, that would not happen in real life.
No.
And, I know it's a fucking movie and it's fake, so... But, but that's stupid. Then he's trying to get them back in, right? Then the fucking universe gets all fucked up. Then fucking Doc Ock comes in, and Doc Ock's like, I don't know where I am. Who am I? Well, you're not Peter. Where's this? Oh, I'm bad. Oh, you fixed me. Now I'm good. I'm just gonna help you. Then fucking Green Goblin comes, and Green Goblin's like, I'm good. I don't know what happened to me. Why am I good? Like, oh... Then, in half the movie, he's like, I remember now, I'm supposed to be bad. Yeah. And then that's his character. Fucking Sandman's like, I don't even know what's going on. I'm trying to be good, but... I'm Sandman. And
what are you doing? Oh, I'll do that.
Yeah, then fucking Electro doesn't do shit.
I don't do anything, but I'm kind of bad.
Then the Lizard guy doesn't do anything.
Nothing.
And, I don't remember who else is there. But anyway, none of them really do anything. They're just like, can you fix me?
Can you fix me? We'll give you 2 hours to fix me. And then, but you got 2 hours or we turn bad.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just, dumb.
Again, same thing. Like, we've technically already seen those characters, but you're taking a movie that's got room. When you make a movie, the movie's usually about 3 people, maybe 4 people. That's how the movie is. Like, say, Stand By Me. You got your auxiliary characters. You got Kiefer Sutherland and his friends, and then you got fucking River Phoenix, and you got the main character. I don't even know what his name is.
Yeah.
But then you got there are 2 auxiliary characters.
Yeah,
so
Corey
you basically got 3 or 4 characters that are really the story, and it turns out to be a really good story because you got an hour and a half, 2 hours to work on them, and you got all this stuff laid out. But when you start adding all these fucking characters, and not only that, the worst part that I haven't even got to is movies, and this happened in The Walking Dead. That's why I brought up The Walking Dead. There was an episode of Walking Dead which made me stop watching Walking Dead, where I think the beginning of the episode, middle of the episode, and the end of the episode, there was probably 15 out of the 43 minutes of it was just showing fucking people's faces.
Go.
Just showing their faces. That's it. Who gives a fuck about fucking people's faces?
Yeah.
And that's what the Spider-Man No Way Home had.
Yeah.
A shit ton of you're staring at motherfuckers' faces, do emotional bullshit. It's not part of the fucking movie. I don't care. I don't care how emotional it has to get. You don't have to stare at Aunt May die for 15 fucking minutes and then stare at fucking Peter for another 10 minutes while he's on a fucking roof and then stare at all three of them for 10 more fucking minutes. And you got a 3-hour fucking movie and a fucking hour and a half of it staring at motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Get rid of all that, and the movie would be so much better. And then if you wanted to add the hour and a half, guess what you could do? You can work on the fucking characters that are in the fucking movie.
Yeah. They should have, at most, brought back Green Goblin and Doc Ock. That's it. They shouldn't have brought back them other ones. Like,
Sandman
wasn't even really a bad guy.
awful fucking character in the whole thing.
Sandman wasn't even really a bad guy. Electro fucking sucked. Like, I'm sorry.
And they completely change him.
Jamie Foxx, I like him, but that character sucked. And
he had like 5 lines in the whole
that
movie.
lizard sucked. And if you think about it, like, the lizard didn't really have even any powers. He was just like, I look like a lizard.
I'm a lizard. I'll just sit in the fucking van. I'm not coming out. I'll sit in the van. And then when shit pops off, I'll break out of the van. And then you won't see me till I get stabbed with a fucking file.
Syringe, yeah. That's stupid. But, yeah.
That's what I said. That's what's wrong with the movies.
Yeah.
And that's what's wrong with the world.
It's because everybody wants to have
emotions.
Plus everybody wants to have aired time, and they're like, and the only way you're going to get aired time is by showing your fucking face, and that's why they do that shit.
But everybody's worried about emotions in this entire world.
Yeah.
Your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Your feelings don't matter.
Mm-mm.
No one gives a fuck about your feelings. You know what your feelings are? It's you.
Mm.
You. I feel. Not everybody else feels.
Oh, yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
There's a monkey that's being murdered by other monkeys. Go, oh, you can't do that to me because I feel like you're bullying me. No, they're going to eat his dick and rip his arms off and eat his brain.
And
that's just how it fucking happens.
Chimpanzees just like to take seagulls and catch them right in the air and fucking smash them.
Smash the fuck out of them because they're like, what the fuck is that? I don't even know what it is. They just take it and they don't even want to eat it. They just killed it.
Yep, and people are always like, save the animals. No. Save the animals. They don't know. They're gentle. No, they're not. Fucking animals are not gentle.
Definitely not gentle. For one.
A fucking chimpanzee will bite your fingers right
off.
For
two, the same people that say, save the animals, also say, let's eat processed meat and fake meat.
Yeah.
And what do you got to do to get all the fake meat? Okay, you need fucking beets, you need soy, you need alternate proteins, nuts, all this. There's like fucking 40 fucking different plants you need to make a fucking piece of shit burger that tastes like ass.
Mm-hmm.
It's not healthy for you. It's got weird fucking weird vitamins that make you have fat tits and weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to a factory. For one, they take the land. They have to crop all that land for all that shit that makes your fucking vegan burger. So you got 18 fucking farms using water that you could use for other shit like feeding animals. And you gotta kill everything on the farm. All the birds, all the plants, all the animals, all the fucking little slugs that are down there, the worms, everything dies in all of those crops. Yep. All that's murdered. And then they use pesticides and shit. And organic doesn't mean organic.
Mm.
They use whatever the fuck they can to kill all that shit. So all that's gotta die. And then you go to a fucking processing plant because you can't just take a beet and cut it up and mix it up into a fucking burger. What you do is they all go to a whole different factory and they're all over the country and they're all getting processed. And guess what they're using to process those plants? Fucking fossil fuel.
Yep.
And they're using electricity.
Emissions.
and fucking shitty Mexican workers.
I don't care. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's recycling. I don't care if it's eating organic or vegetarian or vegan. I promise you, if it's being advertised on anything and it's in the store, it's not benefiting the environment.
Not
I'm sorry.
at all.
It's for profit. And the same people that are fucking making the meat are the same people making the fucking vegetarian shit.
I know, you haven't gotten all that. Guess what your food's in? Oh, it's in plastic.
Yeah.
It's in fucking, it's underneath the fucking thing just like a piece of meat. The little fucking foam shit that doesn't disappear for 1,000 years on the earth. And then it's got to be delivered on a fucking truck, which uses fossil fuels. Then it's got to be fucking brought in to all these workers on a different truck to the stores, where it sits in a fucking another plant that holds the shit in a cooler room, and the cooler uses electricity. Every step of the way, from beginning to end, is all shit.
Yeah. None of these companies that are
fucking stupid little fucking vegan burger that you think saving the environment.
None of these companies that are making this shit care about the environment.
Give a fuck.
They don't care about saving animals. They don't care about any of that shit. They're making the shit because you're a fucking dumbass and you're gonna fucking pay extra money to buy that. The same fucking people that make Tyson Foods and fucking Oscar Mayer.
And you could go to a farm and you could just have a butcher cut you up a fucking cow.
Just like how people think that like Pepsi's Pepsi and Coke is Coke and McDonald's is McDonald's and Pizza Hut's Pizza Hut. All that shit is fucking owned almost by the same fucking people. Just like the fucking
these pharmaceutical companies. Where do you think they came from? A lot of them came from Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Because Coca-Cola made their drink out of fucking
cocaine.
And cocaine's still used in the flavoring.
So you can fucking feel virtuous all you want and virtue signal and make yourself feel good. But you're not doing shit. No. And this fucking bottle that you think you're recycling, all they're fucking doing is shipping it to another country. They're not going to fucking recycle this shit.
Or just leaving it here.
Yeah.
I think it's less than 18% of all recycled material ever gets used again.
Yeah, they're not recycling hardly anything.
So 82%.
You can waste your time and do that
going
shit.
To the same fucking places. It's going to the ocean.
It's all for profit. Anything that anybody does is for profit. It's not for the greater good of the earth.
And if you donate, say you donate to fucking dick cancer research, a lot of these states don't have any laws against it. You might be donating, say you donate, I'm doing my greatest. I'm going to donate $1 million of my money to this. They might only need to donate 1% of that. Mm-hmm. 1% of that.
Yeah, and then they keep the rest. Did you know that the shit you give to Goodwill, that shit don't go to good causes? There's a guy that owns that, and he keeps the fucking money.
And they got fucking 30,000 employees.
Yeah.
That they gotta pay. I don't know what people think they're doing. You know the best way to fix anything that you want done is do it yourself.
Yeah.
That's the only way it gets done.
I had this
and if
guy...
you're not willing to do it yourself, then don't even bother.
Yeah. It's stupid, man.
Like, if you really wanted to do something, that's literally what you got to do. You go, I want to make some fucking thing that's going to save something. So I get 20 people together. We make a business that only does that thing. And then maybe you'll change something. But you wanting an electric car because it saves the environment doesn't do anything. Guess what that comes from? All the fucking materials are shipped from across the world.
Well, that plus
from slave labor, mined underground.
Where does the electric come from that they use to charge the cars from? Fucking Consumers Energy or wherever. Guess what they do? I drive past this fucking place all the time, and guess what they have outside? Coal. Fucking cars and cars full of coal that they burn to fucking make electricity to fucking power your fucking Teslas and shit. Like,
and how does it get over here to begin with? Do you think it's on an electric ship that goes 2,500 miles across the fucking ocean?
Yeah.
Fuck no. That shit's on a fucking plane that's using jet fuel. Mm-hmm. That's getting over here. And pretty soon they're going to have subsonic fucking planes that do the shit in like 15 minutes.
The reason why fear-mongering has happened for the environment and all this shit is even brought to anybody's attention is not for good intentions. It's to make you buy this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you that I'm not a scientist. I'm not going to give you an exact amount, but I'm going to say that most of the reason why we have the greenhouse gases and all this shit is caused by the Earth. The Earth and fucking natural things that just happen from existence is causing this, and it's a cycle.
Like, didn't you learn this in fucking science class in 3rd grade? How did we get fossil fuels? Oh, from fossils.
Yeah.
From the fucking animals died, and then they get buried deep in the ground over years, and then they turn into fuel that we use. So it's organic material. We're just pumping it out, and as we're dying, we're refilling it.
But also on top of that, the ocean. Nobody really talks about this, but the ocean is the main source of all our oxygen because there's more plants in the ocean than there is in the entire...
And we don't even know what's in the ocean.
And the oxygen comes from the earth. And guess what else? Just as much CO2 comes from the ocean as there is oxygen. And it's way fucking more than anything that we create. It doesn't matter what we do. Our emissions are just a small percentage of what the Earth creates on its own. Yeah. And there's nothing we can do about it. It's happened for...
The Earth has a hot core of fucking magnets all day, every day for billions of years. It's just burning shit. Yeah. Everything that goes in the Earth, eventually it just falls down. And then there's these mountains that go up. And just because we don't see it under the ocean, it's the exact same thing happening under the ocean. They're just fucking shit. And you know why we have weather? That's because that shit's going on, and there's jet streams from the pressure, and then water. Guess what happens when the ice caps flood? You know what the ice caps do? They create water. Water melts, and then it goes through, and it creates holes. And the holes go, and then it goes to a different, and then it pops up somewhere else on the fucking Earth.
George Carlin had the best way of explaining it, and George Carlin said... People are... It just proves how fucking arrogant people are to think that we can control something as big as Earth in a way of like either destroying it or improving it. There's nothing... Like, the Earth is fine. If anything, we're killing ourselves. And it has nothing to do with the Earth. And it has nothing to do with what we think we're doing to the Earth. We're fucking killing ourselves because of fucking money and possessions and shit like that. But people think they're fucking jerking themselves off because they're like, oh, I'm getting a fucking paper bag instead of a plastic bag.
We talked about this last week, the cryptocurrency bullshit. Mm-hmm. Like, it's something, maybe? But that's all it is what we're doing is money, because the United States we'll just print more money. So then people come up with ideas like, oh shit, I'll come up with this fucking imaginary currency. And then if that happened to work out, all you would do is you replace that money with this money, and then you just have the same fucking money. It wouldn't be any fucking different. Even if it worked, which it's not going to work, we're still going to have money. The only thing that's going to happen is whether we're pussy enough or man enough to go fuck all these other countries up and just say, hey, cut the shit out.
Hey, stop it.
Fucking United States. Stop it. Yeah.
Stop it. Just stop it.
Money. American money. That's the money. You say that's the money. You take the bone and you go, that's the money. You see this? That's what you gonna look like. And I'm gonna give that to my baby boy, the Tuan.
The booba.
The booba. If you don't take the money, that's my money. I don't like your money. I can't spend your money. That's my money.
The booba.
Get my money. And that's what you do.
The booba.
Booba saves us all. And I think that's a soft note to end this podcast. Mm-hmm. And we love you. Like, subscribe. Oh, shit. Mm-hmm. Jesus, rub your bone. Bye-bye.